awareness, which we don't deal with this physical mind right now, which we so caught up in. And the reason why we're caught up in it is because of what? The senses. Your senses have you connected to this physical mind. And when I say these senses, I'm talking about physical senses. These physical senses, which are what? Touch, taste, smell, hear, and see. These are all your tools for the physical mind. But this Western Euro society teaches you that these are your five senses, when in all actuality they're just one, which is the sense of touch. All of these are prescribed to touch. Right? Touching your taste buds. Gas has to touch your nose follicles. Vibration has to touch your ears. And light has to touch your retina in order for you to see. So it's doing, all of these things are vibrating just like these minds are doing into the unison of one. But they're all caught up into one sense. They're all just one sense. And this is true awareness. You just figuring this out, me just telling you this right now, is in itself is raising your vibrational frequency rate past the physical mind. Your soul or your ray is already tuning you up to lead that physical mind, just based on that simple awareness right there. Just finding out that this is a false awareness, which we've been living for many, many of years, has left you in a state of dormancy and making you feel human. This is taking you away from Ray. It's taking you away from self or the soul. It's not allowing you to operate in soul capacity. And we start operating in physical mind capacity. And we start thinking that the self or the Ray or the soul is the physical mind. You follow? And most people are led to believe, because they don't ever tell you, they just lead you down a certain path. And they tell you that yourself is the physical mind and that you are your brain and all of that. And you're not none of that. You're greater than all of that. You're a boundless being. You cannot be contained. That's where they got you tricked. And they trick you into doing that by making you feel human based on these senses. You follow? Now these senses are just one sense, as we said. Then you have a spiritual mind. And this spiritual mind also has senses. And we know what these senses are. These spiritual senses. These spiritual senses are intuition, telepathy, clairvoyance, psychometry. Okay, Dr. Ray, tell me what these senses are. You familiar with intuition? This is when you're able to see things before they happen. I'll teach you something right quick you can take home. When you go to bed at night, write intuition up, get you a big piece of paper, or get you a piece of paper and put intuition on there. And put it up parallel to how you sleeping. So when you wake up in the morning, all you see is that word, intuition. When you wake up in the morning, when you go to sleep at night, all you seeing is that intuition word. And you're going to make yourself aware of your intuition. That in itself is raising your vibrational frequency rate. Just making yourself aware of the word. Look at the definition. Start Googling things that say this based on intuition. And this in itself, see that? This in itself will tap you into the spiritual mind, transcending the physical mind. These are basic exercises of awareness that will allow you to hush down the noise of this physical mind, which got us caught up in feeling human, right? based on what's already been prescribed to us the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years, however old you are. And you're coming into a new awareness, which I form a self-awareness, which is REKNOWLOGY. That's all this REKNOWLOGY is. Then you have telepathy. Are we familiar with telepathy? Sisters, brothers and sisters? Telepathy is, what is that? Communicating mind to mind. You're communicating mind to mind. Just making yourself aware of telepathy. You can do the same thing with the telepathy as you can with the intuition. But also remember that you have to start prescribing to things that will feed the brain. We feed our stomach enough. We need to start feeding our brain, because we're only using 6% of our brain. And we're using the cerebral cortex part of our brain, which is the reptilian part of your brain. All of the preservatives and additives and the glucose and fructose and starches and sugars, all that stuff keeps your brain grounded in the cerebral cortex. And that's why we're only using 6% of our brain. And there's a group of reptilians out there with an agenda to keep you just activated in that reptilian part of your brain, because then if you just activate it there, they can control you. And they can dictate what happens to you. They have these big towers out there. I'm sure they got them in your city as they have them in mine. It's a big old tower. Got a big old tower. They got all of these little lights on it. That thing is putting out waves. It's sending waves out. And these waves are radioactive in nature. And they're able to tap into you with these waves. They send these waves out. They sit in the center of all the cities. Some people call them tetrahedron. I call them hypnosis towers. And they hypnotize you. And those waves reach out to you and they tap into your head. When they tap into your physical mind, it taps into your brain. And you might not have been thinking about no food, but you turn that TV on, or you riding down the street, you see that billboard of that Burger King, or that double whopper with cheese, looking all succulent and well dressed up. It don't never look like that when you buy it. Hey, y'all ever noticed that? It don't never look like that. And then you wonder why you even wrap it up inside of the paper. If I'm, next time you go to a restaurant, brothers and sisters, if you sit there and you like to eat fast food, fine, whatever. And this is not nothing religious. Do what you do. When you go there and you say, okay, tell them you gonna dine in, and watch them still wrap your burger up in a piece of paper. You know what I mean? Tell them, hey, make my burger look the way it look on that menu screen. I don't want it all smushed up or none of that. I want my bread nice and soft and the lettuce looking all succulent how you present it to me. This is a false awareness. And with that, based on that false awareness, or based on this wave, these radioactive waves that's coming from these towers, they tapping into you. And if you're not aware of them, they could do what they want to your physical mind. They could tap right on into your physical mind and just start suggesting all type of stuff to you. You don't even be hungry. You be like, oh man, let me stop at Burger King right quick. That smell good. You ride by the Popeyes, you ride by the KFC, McDonald's, whatever it may be. It tap right into you. And you say, oh man, let me stop up in here right quick and go do what I gotta do, because I'm hungry. But you ain't even hungry. You might have just ate a few hours ago. But them waves is being sent out to you. They being sent out. They being sent out. And Walmart say, hey man, they go talk to the people that build the tower. Like, hey, we having a big sale next week. We got too much shit that we need to get rid of because we got another load of some more stuff coming on in. I need you to go ahead and turn that frequency up on that tower. You need to turn that frequency up on that tower in order for people to start prescribing to this stuff that we're trying to sell them. And it happens. And it's all dealing with this frequency. We're going to deal with brain frequency. this frequency in your brain, with your brain is sitting in water.